I need you to listen to me real close right now. Turn off the television, put the phone face down. I need you to just stop whatever you are doing and listen to me for a second. Because I am about to tell you something that nobody else is going to have the guts to tell you. You are playing small. You are playing entirely too small with your life, and deep down in a place you don't even like to visit at night when you are laying in the bed staring at the ceiling, you know it. You know you are not doing everything you are supposed to be doing. You know you have settled for a version of yourself that is basically just existing. You are breathing, yeah, but you are not living. You are just taking up space. And I am here to tell you today that the life you are living right now, the relationship you are in right now, the bank account you have right now, the level of respect you are getting right now, that is exactly what you have decided you deserve. That is a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? But you gotta swallow it. You gotta take it right now, because until you accept that, nothing changes, nothing moves. You will stay stuck in that same exact spot for the next 5, 10, 20 years, just blinking, just watching everybody else pass you by. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually surprised yourself? When was the last time you did something that made you look in the mirror and say, "Wow, I didn't know I had that in me"? If you have to think about it for more than 3 seconds, it has been too long. Way too long. See, what happens is we get into this rhythm. We get into this routine. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you grab the coffee, you go to a job you don't really like. You come home, you sit on the couch, you scroll on that phone until your eyes hurt. You go to sleep, and you do it all over again. And you are calling that a life. You are calling that living. But that is not living, my friend. That is just surviving, and you were not put on this earth to just survive. You were put here to dominate. You were put here to leave a mark, but you have let the world beat you down so much that you actually think this is all there is. You actually believe the lie that this is as good as it gets. I watch people every single day. I watch how they move. I watch how they talk. I watch how they treat themselves, and more importantly, how they let other people treat them. And it breaks my heart, because you are walking around here with so much untapped potential. You have greatness inside of you. I don't care if you are a janitor. I don't care if you are a CEO. I don't care if you are a stay-at-home mom. I don't care if you are driving a bus right now. You have something inside of you that the world needs, but you have buried it. You have buried it under a mountain of excuses. You have buried it under a pile of fear. You have buried it under other people's opinions. And every time you get that little nudge, that little feeling in your gut that says, hey, maybe I should try harder. Maybe I should read that book. Maybe I should start that business. Maybe I should go back to school. Maybe I should treat my woman better. Maybe I should demand more respect from my man. What do? You shut it down. You kill it. You talk yourself out of it before you even take the first step. Why do you do that? Why do you sabotage your own growth? Let's get real about this. You do it because growth is uncomfortable. Growth requires you to do things you have never done before. And human beings by nature, we hate being uncomfortable. We love our comfort zone. We love the familiar, even if the familiar is miserable. Even if the familiar is a relationship where you are crying every other night. Even if the familiar is a job where they disrespect you and pay you pennies. You stay there because you know it. You know what to expect, and the unknown is terrifying to you. But let me tell you something about the unknown. That is where your blessing is. That is where your breakthrough is sitting. It is waiting for you right outside of that comfort zone. But you have to be willing to step out there. You have to be willing to take a risk, and not just a little risk. I am talking about a massive, calculated risk on yourself. Because if you won't bet on you, why should anybody else? Let's talk about relationships for a minute, because this is where it gets really real. A lot of people are sitting around wondering why their relationship is failing. You are wondering why your man won't commit. You are wondering why your woman is always nagging you. You are wondering why the romance is dead. You are wondering why you guys are just roommates sharing a mortgage now. I will tell you exactly why. It is because one or both of you stopped improving. You stopped working on yourself the day you got comfortable. The day you said I do, or the day you moved in together, you took your foot off the gas. You thought the work was done. You thought, I got them now, I can relax. No, you cannot relax. That is when the real work begins. See, the secret to a great relationship is not finding the perfect person. There is no perfect person. The secret is becoming the perfect person for the one you are with. And you cannot do that if you are not constantly growing. Think about it. When you first met your partner, you were on your game. You were sharp. You were going to the gym. You were dressing nice. You were taking them on dates. You were asking deep questions. You were listening. You were trying to impress them. You were putting your best foot forward, but somewhere along the way you got lazy. You started walking around the house in the same sweats you have worn for 3 days. You stopped planning dates. You stopped looking them in the eye. You started giving them the leftovers of your energy instead of the first fruits of your energy. And you wonder why they are looking at you different. You wonder why the spark is gone. You killed it. You let yourself go, and in the process you let the relationship go. Because when you stop growing, you become boring. There is no other way to say it. If you are not bringing new ideas, new energy, new goals, new ambitions into the space, then you are just taking up oxygen. And nobody wants to be with somebody who is just taking up oxygen. And for the single people, I need to talk to you too. Because you are out here praying for a king, but you are bringing peasant energy. You are out here asking God for a queen, but you are treating yourself like a joker. You cannot attract what you are not. I don't care how many dating apps you are on. I don't care how many churches you go to. I don't care how many setup dates your friends arrange. If you do not level up your own internal value, you will keep attracting people who operate on your old frequency. You will keep meeting people who are just as broken, just as stuck, just as confused as you are. And then you will get into a relationship with them and wonder why it is a disaster. It is a disaster because two unhealed, unevolved people cannot build a healthy home. It is impossible. You have to focus on you first. I know that sounds selfish to some of you. You think, well, I need to find somebody to make me happy. No, you don't. You need to find yourself first. You need to build yourself into somebody who is already happy, somebody who is already fulfilled, somebody who is already walking in their purpose. Because when you do that, you become a magnet. You become the kind of person that other quality people want to be around. But right now, you are leaking energy everywhere. You are leaking insecurity. You are leaking desperation. You are walking into rooms hoping somebody will pick you. Hoping somebody will choose you. Stop hoping. Start commanding. Start commanding respect by the way you carry yourself, by the way you speak, by the way you treat yourself. When you walk into a room, you should know who you are without having to open your mouth. That kind of confidence only comes from putting in the work on yourself. So, what does that work look like? Let's get practical. Because people love to talk about self-improvement, but they don't actually want to do the heavy lifting. They want the reward without the sweat. It doesn't work like that. The secret to never stop improving yourself starts with your mind. You have to guard your mind like it is the most valuable real estate on the planet, because it is. You have got to stop letting garbage in. You have got to stop watching things that lower your vibration. You have got to stop listening to people who complain all day. You have got to stop scrolling through social media, looking at other people's highlight reels and feeling bad about your behind the scenes. That is poisoning your mind. You are feeding your brain junk food all day long and then wondering why you feel sluggish, why you feel depressed, why you have no motivation. If you feed your body bad food, your body gets sick. If you feed your mind bad information, your mind gets sick. And a sick mind cannot produce a great life. You need to start reading. I know some of you just groaned. You said, I don't like to read. Listen to me. If you do not like to read, you have limited your own potential. Period. There is no way around it. Every successful person, every person who has built something meaningful, every person who has a relationship that thrives after 20 years, they are readers. They are learners. They are students of the game because the game changes, the world changes. If you are still operating off the same information you had 5 years ago, you are obsolete. You are a dinosaur. You have to constantly upgrade your software. And the way you upgrade your software is by reading books, by listening to audiobooks, by listening to podcasts like this, by having real conversations with people who are smarter than you. And please, for the love of God, stop hanging around people who are going nowhere. You know exactly who I am talking about. You have that one friend, maybe 2 or 3 of them, who every time you get around them, all they do is talk about other people. They gossip. They complain about their boss. They complain about their ex. They complain about the government. They complain about the weather. They have a problem for every single solution you give them. You have to cut them loose. I don't care if you have known them since kindergarten. If they are not going up, they are pulling you down. You cannot soar with eagles if you are scratching around with turkeys. It is just that simple. You have to protect your circle with your life, because the people closest to you determine your destiny. If everybody in your circle is broke, unhappy, and out of shape, guess what you are going to be? You are going to be broke, unhappy, and out of shape. You have to get around people who challenge you. You need to get around people who make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because they are doing so much better than you. That discomfort is good. It is fuel. Let it drive you. Let's talk about discipline for a second, because motivation is cute, but discipline is what actually changes your life. Motivation is what gets you to buy the gym membership on January 2nd. Discipline is what gets you to go on March 15th when it is raining and you are tired and you don't feel like it. Most people fail because they rely on motivation. They wait until they feel like doing something. Let me tell you something. You are never going to feel like doing the hard things. You are never going to wake up and say, you know what, I really feel like waking up at 5 in the morning and grinding today. You are never going to feel like having that difficult conversation with your partner about finances. You are never going to feel like sitting down and studying for 3 hours after working an 8-hour shift. You do it because you have a goal. You do it because you have a vision. You do it because you understand that your future is connected to the things you do when you don't feel like doing them. That is the secret. That is the gap between the person you are and the person you want to be. It is what you do in the dark when nobody is watching. It is the promises you make to yourself that you refuse to break. And this is where self-respect comes in. If you do not respect yourself, you will never have the discipline to improve. Because every time you set a goal and quit, you are telling yourself a lie. You are telling yourself that your word doesn't matter. You are telling yourself that you are not worth the effort. And after years and years of doing this, your subconscious mind starts to believe it. You build a track record of failure in your own head. And so when a new opportunity comes, or when you get a new idea, your brain immediately says, "Nah, you are not going to do that anyway. You are going to quit in 2 weeks just like you always do." And you listen to that voice. You let that voice control you. But you have to starve that voice. You have to prove it wrong. And the only way to prove it wrong is to win a small victory. Just one. Don't try to change your whole life by tomorrow morning. That is a setup for failure. Just pick one thing. One small thing, and do it for a week. Then do it for 2 weeks. Then do it for a month. And when you do that, you rebuild your trust with yourself. You start looking in the mirror and saying, "My word is bond. I said I was going to do it, and I did it." And that feeling of honoring your own word, is more addictive than any drug on this planet. It will change your entire identity. Now I want to talk to the men specifically for a minute, because a lot of you are out here confused about what it means to be a man. You think being a man means being tough, or being loud, or having a bunch of money, or dominating people. That is not what a man is. A real man is a leader, and leadership starts with leading yourself. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead a woman, you cannot lead a family, and you definitely cannot lead a business. You have to master yourself first. That means you have to conquer your own laziness. You have to conquer your own ego. You have to conquer your own fears, and then you have to step up and provide. I am not just talking about money, although you need to handle your business financially. If you are a grown man living paycheck to paycheck with no plan, no side hustle, no desire to increase your value in the marketplace, you are failing at your basic duty. But providing is also emotional. It is being a rock. It is creating an environment where your woman feels safe. So many women are out here stressed out of their minds because they are carrying the mental load of the entire household. They are taking care of the kids, they are working, they are cooking, they are cleaning, and you are sitting on the couch playing a video game or scrolling on your phone. And you wonder why she looks at you with disdain. You wonder why she doesn't want to be intimate with you. You have lost her respect. Because respect is not demanded, it is earned, and you earn it by what you do, not by what you say. You can stand there and talk about how much of a man you are all day long, but if your actions don't back it up, you are just making noise. You need to look at your woman and ask yourself, am I making her life easier, or am I making it harder? Am I adding value to her life, or am I draining her? If you are draining her, you need to fix that today. Not tomorrow, today. Because there is a man out there right now who sees her value and will gladly step up and do the things you refuse to do. And you can get mad at me for saying that, but you know I am telling the truth. And to the women, I need to talk to you too. Because some of you have lost your way as well. You have let the world tell you that being strong means you don't need anybody. You have let social media convince you that independence means pushing everybody away and treating men like the enemy. That is a lie. That is a trap designed to keep you isolated and miserable. There is nothing wrong with wanting a partner. There is nothing wrong with wanting a man to lead. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be taken care of. But you have to bring something to the table that makes a man want to do that. You have to be a woman of substance. You have to have your own goals, your own dreams, your own peace. You cannot be a chaotic mess and expect a peaceful man to stay. You cannot be constantly starting arguments, bringing up the past, using silence as a weapon, and expect a man to thrive in that environment. Men will walk into fire for a woman who respects them and builds them up, but they will run from a woman who tears them down every chance she gets. You have to learn how to communicate, not just talk, but communicate. There is a difference. Talking is just making noise. Communicating is expressing your needs in a way that the other person can receive it without feeling attacked. And you also have to make sure you are not settling out of fear. So many women are in relationships right now with men who have absolutely no ambition, simply because they are afraid of being alone. You are afraid of what your family will think if you leave. You are afraid of starting over at 35 or 40 or 45. Let me tell you something. Being alone is 1,000,000 times better than being in a room with someone who makes you feel lonely. Being alone is better than giving your best years to a man who will not even commit to you. You have to value yourself enough to walk away from anything that does not serve you. And you do that by constantly improving yourself so that your options increase. When you level up your mind, your body, your spirit, and your finances, you will realize that you do not have to settle. You will realize that you have choices, and that kind of power changes everything. Let's go back to the core of this whole thing. The secret to never stop improving yourself. It really comes down to one word, and that word is vision. You have to have a vision for your life. If you do not know where you are going, any road will take you there. And most people are just wandering. They are just drifting. They are reacting to whatever life throws at them instead of creating the life they want. You need to sit down, preferably today, and write out what you want your life to look like 1 year from now. 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What kind of relationship do you want to be in? What kind of parent do you want to be? How much money do you want to make? What kind of house do you want to live in? How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? You have to see it in your mind before you can hold it in your hand. Once you have that vision, everything changes. Because now you have a filter. Every decision you make, you run it through that vision. You ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to where I want to be, or is it taking me further away? If somebody offers you a job that pays a little more but requires you to compromise your values, you check your vision and you say no, because that is not aligned with who I am becoming. If you are in a relationship with somebody who has no goals and is dragging you down, you check your vision and you realize this person cannot go where I am going, so I have to let them go. The vision protects you. It keeps you focused. It stops you from getting distracted by shiny objects and temporary pleasures. Because the thing about temporary pleasures is that they feel good for about 5 minutes, but they leave a hole in your soul that lasts for years. You have to be willing to delay gratification. That is the ultimate test of a mature adult. Can you say no to something you want right now so you can have something you need later? Can you say no to going out to the club every weekend so you can put that money into starting your business? Can you say no to eating that junk food every night so you can have the energy to play with your kids in 10 years? Can you say no to flirting with that coworker so you can protect the marriage you have built with your spouse? It is easy to say yes to everything. It takes no discipline to just follow your impulses, but it takes a warrior to say no. It takes a person of character to look at temptation and say, I am bigger than this. I have a future to build, and I am not going to let a 5-minute feeling ruin my 5-year plan. I also want to touch on failure because this is where so many people get stuck. You are afraid to try because you might fail. You are afraid to start the business because what if it doesn't work? You are afraid to go back to school because what if you fail the classes? You are afraid to open up to your partner because what if they reject you? Let me tell you something about failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. They are on the same team. You cannot succeed without failing first. Every person you admire, every person who has achieved something great, has a graveyard of failures behind them. They have been rejected, they have lost money, they have been embarrassed, they have been talked about, but they kept going. Why? Because their vision was bigger than their fear. You have to reframe how you look at failure. When you fail, it is not a sign that you are a loser. It is a sign that you are trying. It is data. It is feedback. It is the universe telling you, okay, that way didn't work, now try another way. But if you never try, you get zero data. You just get a lifetime of what-ifs. And let me tell you, the pain of regret is 1,000 times worse than the pain of failure. When you are 80 years old sitting on your porch, you are not going to be upset about the businesses that failed. You are going to be upset about the business you never started. You are not going to be upset about the relationship that ended. You are going to be upset about the love you were too scared to give. Do not let fear steal your story. You have to be willing to fail forward. You have to take the hits and keep moving, because the only true failure in life is quitting. As long as you are still breathing, you still have a chance to turn it around. And for those of you who have made mistakes in the past, I need you to hear this. Stop beating yourself up. Stop carrying around all that guilt and shame. Yes, you messed up. Yes, you made some bad decisions. Maybe you treated somebody terrible. Maybe you wasted years of your life on the wrong things. Maybe you neglected your kids. Maybe you were addicted to something. Whatever it is in the past. You cannot change it, and God is not sitting up there holding your past against you. The only person holding your past against you is you. You have to forgive yourself. You have to let it go. Because if you keep dragging that heavy baggage into your future, it is going to slow you down. You cannot run your best race with weights tied to your ankles. Drop the bags. Learn the lesson, but leave the pain behind. Your past does not dictate your future unless you let it. Today is a new day. The slate is clean. You get to start over right now. Not next Monday, not January 1st. Right now, in this very moment, you can make a different choice, and that is the beauty of life. You always have the power to choose differently. I want to talk about the concept of enough, because so many of us are walking around feeling like we are not enough. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough status. We don't look good enough. We are not smart enough. And because we feel like we are not enough, we overcompensate. We buy things we can't afford to impress people we don't even like. We brag about things that don't matter. We get into arguments trying to prove how smart we are. But all of that is coming from a place of emptiness. When you truly know your worth, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't need to flex. You don't need to name, drop. You don't need to post every single detail of your life online looking for validation from strangers. You are validated from within. You have to get to a place where you are enough for yourself. You have to be able to sit in a room by yourself with no phone, no television, no noise, and be at peace. If you cannot be alone with your own thoughts, you are in trouble. Because that means you are running from yourself. You are using all these distractions to avoid dealing with who you really are. But you can't run forever. Eventually, the bill comes due. Eventually, you have to look in the mirror and deal with the person staring back at you. And when you do, you need to make sure that person is someone you are proud of. You need to make sure that person has integrity. That person keeps their word. That person treats people with kindness. That person is constantly striving to be better than they were yesterday. That is the ultimate goal. It is not about being better than the next person. It is about being better than the person you used to be. Let me tell you a story about a mindset shift that will change your life if you really let it sink in. Most people walk around thinking that success is a destination. They think, if I can just get that promotion, then I will be happy. If I can just get married, then I will be fulfilled. If I can just lose 20 pounds, then I will love myself. But what happens when you get the promotion? You are happy for about a week, and then you want the next one. What happens when you get married? The honeymoon ends, and now you have to actually do the work of maintaining a marriage. Success is not a destination. Success is a lifestyle. It is a daily practice. It is something you do every single day, over and over and over again, until the day you die. If you stop watering a plant, it dies. It doesn't matter how beautiful it was last week. If you stop giving it water and sunlight, it will wither. Your life is the exact same way. Your relationship is the exact same way. Your mind is the exact same way. You cannot put in the work for 6 months, get the results you want, and then stop. The moment you stop improving is the moment you start declining. There is no standing still in life. You are either going forward or you are going backward. There is no neutral gear. So if you feel like you are just coasting, I am here to wake you up. You are not coasting. You are sliding backwards. And you don't even realize it because the decline is slow. It is gradual. It happens little by little, day by day, until 5 years have passed and you look up and you don't even recognize your life. You don't even recognize the person sleeping next to you. You don't even recognize the person in the mirror. That happens when you stop watering your own grass. You have to fall in love with the process. You have to fall in love with the grind. You have to fall in love with waking up early and reading. You have to fall in love with going to the gym when your muscles are screaming. You have to fall in love with taking your partner on a date and really listening to them, even when you are tired. You have to fall in love with the discipline, because the results are going to fluctuate. Some days you are going to feel like $1,000,000. Other days you are going to feel like quitting. But if you love the process, if you love the act of becoming better, then the bad days won't stop you. You will just keep pushing because that is who you are. You are a person who grows. You are a person who evolves. You are a person who refuses to settle for mediocrity. I also want to address the people in your life who are going to try to stop you. Because when you start making changes, when you start leveling up, people are going to get uncomfortable. Your family is going to look at you sideways. Your friends are going to make jokes. They are going to say things like, "Oh, you think you are better than us now." Or, "Who do you think you are?" They are going to try to pull you back down into the pit with them, because your growth shines a light on their stagnation. When you start eating right and going to the gym, it makes them feel bad about the fact that they are not doing it. So instead of changing themselves, they try to change you. They try to make you feel guilty for wanting more. You have to be prepared for this. You have to be strong enough to say, "I love you, but I am not going where you are going. I am going up, and if you want to come with me, I will help you. But I am not staying here to keep you comfortable." You have to be willing to outgrow certain people. It is painful, but it is necessary. Sometimes the only way to save yourself is to let go of the people who are drowning. And for those of you who are in a relationship right now and you are trying to grow, but your partner is not, that is a tough spot. That is a really tough spot, because you cannot force somebody to change. You cannot drag somebody into their destiny. They have to want it for themselves. What you can do is lead by example. You can show them what growth looks like. You can invite them along, but if they continuously refuse, if they continuously mock your efforts, if they continuously try to hold you back, you have to make a hard decision. You have to decide if you are going to sacrifice your potential to keep them comfortable, or if you are going to step into your greatness and let the chips fall where they may. I cannot make that decision for you, but I will tell you this. You are doing nobody any favors by shrinking yourself so. Somebody else can feel big. If you shrink for your partner, you will eventually resent them, and the relationship will die anyway. It is better to grow and let the relationship transition than to stay small and watch both of your spirits die slowly. I want to emphasize how important it is to take care of your physical body in all of this. Your mind and your body are connected. You cannot have a sharp mind if your body is a mess. If you are eating garbage all day, if you are not drinking water, if you are not moving your body, if you are not getting enough sleep, your brain is not functioning at its highest capacity, you are operating at 50%. And you wonder why you don't have the energy to work on your relationship after a long day. You wonder why you don't have the drive to start that side hustle. It is because your physical vessel is running on fumes. You have to treat your body like a temple. It is the only place you have to live. If you don't take care of it, where are you going to live? You have to get up and move. You have to start making better choices about what you put into your mouth. This is not about being vain. This is not about trying to look like a model. This is about having the energy and the vitality to execute your vision. When your body is strong, your mind is strong. When your mind is strong, your willpower is strong. And when your willpower is strong, you can conquer anything. Let's talk about faith for a minute. Because I don't care what religion you are, you have to believe in something bigger than yourself. You have to understand that you were created with a purpose. You are not an accident. The gifts you have, the desires you feel in your heart, those were put there for a reason. But so many of you are walking around spiritually bankrupt. You are disconnected from your source. You are trying to do everything in your own strength, and it is exhausting you. You need to plug back in. You need to pray. You need to meditate. You need to get quiet and listen to the direction that is being given to you. Because God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is constantly trying to guide you. But the world is so loud and your mind is so cluttered that you cannot hear the instructions. You have to create space to hear. You have to slow down. You have to trust that even when you don't see the whole staircase, you just need to take the first step. Faith is taking the first step before you see the whole picture. And when you operate in that kind of faith, amazing things start to happen. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. People show up in your life at the exact right moment. You start to realize that you are not doing this alone. There is a force working with you, pushing you, guiding you toward your destiny. But you have to believe. You have to have unwavering faith that things are going to work out for you. Let's bring it all together now. The secret to never stop improving yourself is not some magic pill. It is not a secret formula that only the elite have access to. It is a decision. It is a daily, conscious decision to refuse to be average. It is waking up every single morning and looking in the mirror and saying, I am not done yet. I have more to give. I have more to learn. I have more to become. It is understanding that the journey of life is not about arriving at a finish line where you can finally put your feet up and do nothing. The journey of life is about constantly shedding old versions of yourself and stepping into new ones. It is about constant rebirth. It is about dying to the person you were yesterday so the person you are meant to be tomorrow can live. You have to be ruthless with your time. You have to be ruthless with your energy. You have to be ruthless with the things you allow into your mind and into your heart. Because your life is a masterpiece and you are the artist. But if you keep letting other people hold the brush, you are not going to like the painting. You have to snatch the brush back. You have to take control of the canvas. You have to start painting the life you actually want to look at. And it is going to take time. It is going to take patience. You are not going to transform your life overnight. But if you will just commit to getting 1% better every single day, if you will just commit to reading 10 pages a day, if you will just commit to drinking one more glass of water, if you will just commit to having one positive conversation with your partner instead of a negative one, those small daily improvements will compound over time. And in a year you will look back and be absolutely amazed at how far you have come. You are sitting here right now listening to me, and you are feeling something. You are feeling a fire in your gut. You are feeling a stirring in your spirit. That is not an accident. That is your wake-up call. That is the universe tapping you on the shoulder saying, it is time. It is time to get up off the mat. It is time to stop making excuses. It is time to stop blaming your childhood, blaming your ex, blaming the economy, blaming your boss. Nobody is coming to save you. I am not coming to save you. The only person who can save you is the person staring back at you in that mirror. You have to rescue yourself. You have to pull yourself out of the pit, and you have the strength to do it. I don't care what you have been through. I don't care how dark it has gotten. There is a fighter inside of you that has not been defeated. You just have to wake it up. You have to feed it. You have to give it something to fight for. Find your why. Why do you want to grow? Why do you want a better relationship? Why do you want more money? If your why is not deep enough, you will quit when it gets hard. Your why cannot just be about you. It has to be bigger than you. Maybe your why is your kids. Maybe you want to break a generational curse. Maybe you want to show your children what a healthy marriage looks like because you never saw one growing up. Maybe your why is your parents, and you want to be able to take care of them in their old age the way they took care of you. Maybe your why is God, and you want to use the gifts you were given to serve other people. Find that why. Write it down, put it on your bathroom mirror, look at it every single morning. And when you are tired, when you are frustrated, when you want to give up, look at that why and let it give you the energy to take one more step. I need you to understand how precious your time is. You do not have forever. None of us do. Tomorrow is not promised to anybody. You could leave this earth today, and if you do, what will they say about you? Will they say you lived a life of purpose? Will they say you loved hard? Will they say you gave it your all? Or will they say you played it safe? Will they say you complained a lot but never did anything about it? Will they say you had all this potential but you were too scared to use it? Do not let your legacy be a story of what you could have been. Let your legacy be a story of what you actually did. Let your legacy be a story of somebody who was knocked down 100 times but got up 101. Let your legacy be a story of transformation, of redemption, of relentless pursuit of greatness. So here is what I want you to do when this video ends. I want you to get up. I want you to walk over to that mirror. I want you to look yourself dead in the eye. And I want you to make a promise. Make a promise that from this day forward you are never going back. You are never going back to the old you. You are never going back to the lazy you. You are never going back to the fearful you. You are never going back to the broke you. You are never going back to the unhealthy you. You are stepping into a new dimension. You are entering a new season. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be, and it starts right now. In this second, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because your life is waiting for you. Your future is waiting for you. Your greatness is waiting for you. All you have to do is reach out and grab it. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time does not exist. The only time you have is right now. So make the decision, make the choice, and don't you ever look back. You have everything you need inside of you. Now go out there and prove it.